we're not live. We're recording.
Yay!
Hey.
How's everybody?
Hey. Good to see you, Dale. Good to see you, Dale. Oh, wait.
we missed you. Yeah, we missed you.
I mean, no, it's only last week. And then no, because we didn't do the pod, I think 2 weeks before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a busy July for all of us.
Yeah, those weekends are hard to book. Yeah, we were gonna do the Ryan episode, but yeah, he's also busy. He was sick, and so it wasn't meant to be, for he was a guest.
Such a bummer.
Yeah.
We have to definitely get Ryan back on I would say back on the podcast. We have to get him on the podcast for sure. Hopefully, maybe in the next month or two.
Yeah, we will. I think we're pretty good at setting up our gear now. Yeah,
somewhat.
Somewhat.
There's always going to be issues.
Yeah. So, how's your week? How was your week, Dale? Did you do any? All I see from Dale's post is just CrossFit training. Is that right? That's CrossFit training, right? Or do you call it something else?
It's just going to the gym.
Yeah, but is that a program? Because I see like everyone like gather around.
It's
doing workout.
It's a thing that they're doing here at the. It was formerly Kyoto, right? And then I'm not sure if you guys know, but the guy who used to, I guess, the former CEO of WeWork, he bought some property, and then Kauba was one of them, and he started his thing where he's trying to promote like community stuff with, like, these apartment buildings that he owns. So he's starting all like these programs too. So one of them is like fitness programs. So they hold like classes here now with like those.
And that's for free.
Yeah, it's for free. Yeah.
Really?
So you get to meet like your neighbors, and then join.
Yeah, and then work out with them.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That guy has a very interesting story.
Yep. Have you seen his show?
I saw the documentary about him. Is that what you mean?
Yep.
He's a weird guy. I mean, but sort of like a troubled genius, in a way.
Yeah. So yeah, like a visionary, but
yeah.
Well, what's the business of WeWork before? I've heard of the name, but didn't really get to like.
So it's more like I'm not really sure, but I think it's like shared workspace where they rent out spaces for
it's
people to go and then rent it out as offices for them to work in. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with Dale too. I'm not too sure about the exact business structure, but they had a unique business idea that made them different from other like new businesses. They would like sublease office space and then renovate it into the new feng shui like office setup, like the new age community setting. They would like charge rent for people to use it for co-working. But I think COVID kind of blew that up a little bit, and then some of their business practices were not like, what's the word, like they weren't tested for the long run. They were more like a short-term thing, and it wasn't profitable for a while. But some Chinese billionaire put like multiple billions of dollars behind it and lost it all. So they kicked them out of the company. And that's a long story short. There's a lot more in there that's fascinating, but he's a visionary. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like shared office spaces. So it's like you're renting, like a company renting spaces, and then these office spaces is not like the common, like I would imagine, like based on what you're saying. So it's like it's not like the common office. It's more different like layout or feel, something like that. So that's what's good for that's what's good if you rent them. Is it called renting? It's a lease. Yeah,
I think so. There's a WeWork building in Charlotte, and a lot of it's stuck. I think they just had to they grew way too fast, and they threw way too much money at it. That was back in the time, like 2019, 2018, when they were just throwing money at everything, and everything worked because the economy was great and interest rates were low.
Yeah, before COVID, right?
You can't fail. Yeah, it's like, no, great idea. Yeah. And then everything got screwed up. And then they were like, oh, no, this actually doesn't make any money, and it never was going to make money. And so on a smaller scale, it's a good idea, but like it grew way too fast. Way too quickly.
Maybe. Now he's doing apartment buildings.
Yeah, so when he was like, I guess when he was kicked out, he got money out of it, and what he did with that money was like buy properties, and then this is what he's doing now. I mean, you can look it up. It's called Flow.
Mhm.
So he bought a couple other companies too, I guess.
And it's only in Miami
So
or
they have,
other.
from what I've heard, they have one in Florida. They have Miami and then Fort Lauderdale, and then I think
Oh,
they have
good
other
places.
places in maybe Atlanta too. And then I don't know. I can't recall where the other ones were, but I guess what.
I'll bet you Austin.
Well, that's not a
Yeah.
place yet. I think
Yeah.
because they
I
have
bet
asked, like,
it's
I guess that might be like one of the
no.
places, but in their social media, they were like asking where they want Flow to open up, I guess. And then Austin was
Yeah.
one of the, and I guess it would work there. But yeah, this is what they're doing. What they're trying to like differentiate from all the other apartment community. I'm kind of trying to sell it now, but
Yeah, they
they're trying
keep
to like
going.
build community.
Are you in a cult, Dale?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of feels like a cult. One of my friends here calls it a cult. Like the people who go
Yeah.
to the fitness events that they hold. But what they're trying to do is build kind of like a sense of community, right? When you
Okay.
guys were living before, it was just us, like people who you know. But
Yeah, you don't really
they
know
hold
your neighbors. Yeah.
these like events, and it's not just fitness. They hold like other events too. They try to, if you have a business you want to propagate, they hold like, let's say, cocktail making classes.
Okay.
They're trying to get
They're promoting.
get ideas. So they're actually trying to ask like the residents themselves what kind of what kind of events they want to hold. It may be just like social events where they hold like food and drinks at the pool, and
That's
then,
actually good.
but it's basically for you to providing you a venue to mingle with your neighbors, and then
Community
just build a sense
and
of
work.
community
Yeah.
around that. Yep. And then I guess
And worship.
you guys know,
Worship
like,
the.
when you guys were still here, you moved here like 2019. I see a lot of people like on the floors for like the
Mhm.
longest time, and it's only now that I kind of like knew them, who they are, even though I see them like
Oh, okay.
all the time working out. But now,
Yeah.
because of that venue, these events that they're holding, it kind of gives us a venue to like actually interact with them and know who they are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah,
I met
because
my friends.
you that's another reason to stay at the apartment, right?
Yep.
Like that's one of the decisions you have to like give up. Like, oh yeah, if should I move to another apartment? And no, I have a community here. So that's why
You'll
so
re-sign your
people stay
lease.
longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times to make a friend, quote unquote, is it's that one chance occurrence. It's difficult, but if you're in a situation where you can say like, hey, I've seen you a lot. What's your name?
Yeah.
We should get, you find one thing that you have in common that can be the difference. Like,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for Glyza, I wouldn't have met you guys. I know that's not like an exact.
And then
same
usually,
scenario.
I mean, you have to go out, right? Like, let's say you're
join
like fitness,
something.
you have to go to like a gym and pay pay money to go there, and then maybe not just fitness, maybe other hobbies you have, like maybe photography and whatever hobbies.
Mhm.
You need to go out there to I guess pay and then join, do your research where these types of communities are. So you join that, so you get to like mingle with people. But here they do that within the building.
Yeah.
You just join, and then you get to meet your neighbors.
Yeah.
And then probably,
And you're gonna have to be like extra nice because you're gonna see that person like almost every day, right? Yeah, it's not if you join a one-time thing class, you can be like be a different person. Like, oh yeah, I'm good. I like this stuff. But on your mind, you get, we're not gonna see each other tomorrow. Like, what the hell?
but it's a good thing though. Like, the people here in the neighborhood are really, I mean, in this building are really friendly. I mean, I'm not the most sociable person, but
stay here, Dale.
Well,
Like,
Dale,
stay here there. Hey,
well,
why would you leave, Dale?
They start like
leave?
brushing your hair, and then be careful. They're gonna make you all wear the same clothes soon and hold hands and sing songs.
They're gonna start like slow, right? Like, hey, it's White Shirt Wednesdays. Like, White Shirt Wednesday? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's the first day. Yeah, it's the first day of the month. We're gonna wear this. Yeah.
Yeah, all of us get these matching tattoos. We're gonna brand ourselves.
Ain't it fun? Ain't it
We're
fun?
all gonna drink this Kool-Aid, and we're gonna commit suicide together.
So yeah. But we're gonna sing a song together when doing that.
Well, it's a slow process. That's how it starts. But Dale, to be honest, all joking aside, I think I know guys as like you, where you're not immediately inclined to just like be an extrovert and go out there, but once you find once you've broken that barrier and chose to go to the gym or chose to go to the hotel bar or the party that they're hosting, like that's enough to get you out. And once someone meets you, Dale, and they realize how cool you are, like you're gonna make friends easily. And that's just not just you, not to make you feel good. It's a lot of us that need to be pushed to get outside of their house. Like I was lonely for the longest time, looking for someone, waiting for, someone to find someone. And it wasn't until I agreed to go on a date with someone I didn't know when I like found Glyza. And I didn't want to do it at all. Like everything in my body was saying, no, don't do this. This is terrible. But you do it anyway, and you put yourself out there, and it's not always going to be fruitful. Yeah. But if you don't go out there, what's going to happen then. You know the outcome there.
So you miss, what's that code?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
100% of the shots you never take.
Yeah. But do you know that guy, even though he never took the shots that he was supposed to take, he still made goals, apparently. So even if he never scored, he still scored the most points based on the assist that he did. That's why it made... it's
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is the greatest athlete of all time.
Of all time. Like all the other goats, they have like people arguing, like Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, Wayne Gretzky. There's no like competition. No. Like he beats like everybody, blows everybody out of him.
And I think I think the second and third person behind him, something crazy like their combined points don't even equal the points that he's like. It's crazy. Yeah, you're right. And his assists are more goals than second place has scored. I'm not a hockey guy, but you got to respect that.
I just read that like very recently.
Yeah. So Wayne Gretzky, he's the man. He's before our time though. I think he's like
probably a superstar because I know that name, but I don't really know enough about him. You always hear that reference like in sitcoms or like movies. They tell that they use that name as a reference or something great. Yeah,
it's a total hockey name, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh yeah,
Canadian as heck.
It's like if there was like a game show like what sport is. Oh, I didn't see the name. Like probably hockey, right? I don't want to like.
Ski is.
Ski. They probably related to ice or a cold place. It shouldn't be. It's not. This is not a person who plays soccer name. It's not a football name.
Speaking of, are you guys going to follow like the Olympics in this year?
Yeah,
I didn't even know it was starting. Yeah.
It just started. Man, get on it. We were watching the opening ceremony just now. We walked away from it.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you watch the opening ceremony?
No, I didn't put it up now, but I see like posted on social media, so I saw like Snoop Dogg in there.
Why is he our ambassador for the U.S.? Who voted on that? And it should be Wayne Gretzky.
And then people are just like, this guy is just ticking off, his bucket list one by one. So it's like,
he's winning. He's winning in life.
What an incredible career he's had. He's been all over. He's he's beyond just a musical artist. He's like he's like Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. He's just a personality.
At least now he hasn't been doing like controversial stuff like all the other rappers that that
I don't think he needs to now. Yeah,
everyone. The other rappers right now are like famous rappers. The past 4 months. Let's just say the past couple years that like controversy about them. Him is just doing like Like it's
Yeah.
like checking off whatever he has in his bucket list.
Yeah.
Living his
He
life.
doesn't even need to like
Yeah.
put out an album. He just like
No.
be himself on a show, on a podcast, or on a I think anything you put him in, like, oh, people's gonna be, oh, that's Snoop Dogg.
He's so uniquely himself. Yeah, for sure. But I don't need to see him. I'm not his demographic, but I still don't get it. I don't get the hype. But I did see him. My impression of the opening ceremony is like, I want it in an arena. Like, aren't you used to like when Beijing did it in 2008 and London did it in 2012? Like, it was like an arena, and they all walk in. In the opening ceremony in France, they're driving down boats through the river. So every country is in a different boat.
Oh,
You just watch them in a boat sail by or drive by. It's not a sailboat, but it's just weird. And then the entertainment things they do are like on different streets through France or Paris.
And they don't have a big enough place. I didn't see
messy,
it.
Yeah,
But the traditional thing is someone like is that in the opening where someone like runs around with a torch and then lights up they did that too. Yeah.
They
I
light up the torch.
I guess
They carry us.
I didn't see that part yet. Yeah.
They light up.
They do like torch. I think Snoop Dogg carried our torch for USA.
Yep.
It's just like, but
oh
And then people are like,
yeah, that's interesting.
You know how he's like all about smoking joints. So they use it to smoke.
Maybe that's why.
he likes his joint.
Yeah. That's interesting that they have Snoop Dogg. Usually it's an athlete.
Yeah, who else would be a better representative of the U.S.? I wonder, like Dwayne Johnson,
America's sweetheart, the icon. She's gonna be like, careful, you're gonna put out a fire there. Yeah, on Hawk 2 on the Olympic torch.
No, that is so funny.
Imagine if like America's like too crazy to know. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the Hawk to a girl.
Someone would have voted for her, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
That's funny though. And her 15 minutes of fame is probably over now.
Yeah, I don't see, there. I see clips of her on podcasts, like interviews. It's not really that. It's not a lot of them. I haven't watched like a full interview. I don't know. I can't find it in me like to watch the entire episode of her like talking. But but that's it. I don't really see other stuff. Maybe if you look into it, right, it's gonna be there. But I don't hear anyone else like keep bringing her up other than that moment, right? Like afterwards, there's really none. I know maybe it doesn't. Did you hear her speak on any? Because when I watched the reels, it's not really like it didn't really pique my interest, right? Like, oh, I want to listen to her more. Like just
no.
The accent sounds fun though. I think that's part of it. Like, the accent and then the Hawk Duo, that was it. But maybe she's not good at those like long form conversations. Just those like should I say magic moments, right? Magic moment.
Or I guess like think about it in the long run, right? Like I mean, she just I guess if just my thought, like if you have that moment to, I guess that moment for that would catapult you. You'd still think long term what your brand would be. You can't stick to, I guess, that just being the Hawk to a girl. Apparently, if she has a personality, she needs to build on that, not just what made her famous, I guess. And usually that's how it all works, right? Like you have like that one moment, but you can't keep on just banking on that. You need to build something else on top of that, because that would, I guess, grow old, if you will. That's just how I see it.
Well, the news cycle in America at least is 24 hours, and we're moving on to the next thing. Joe Biden and Donald Trump's getting out, and so Hawk Tuah seems like it was a year ago.
Yeah,
it's just so much has happened since then.
So much information.
If she doesn't come out with something else, I mean, but if she can make a decent amount of money from it, and then retire, like that would be smart. I hope she's saving her money.
I mean that's the thing, right? You should, because it's what do you call this, to make those moments to like not really fabricate, like to have another like Haktua moment, right? It's by accident. So it for sure it's gonna be hard for her to keep that unless like she's already like, because she grabbed everyone's attention, right? So now everyone's looking like, well, who is she? Who is she, right? So if she happened to be like like have a very good personality, very like that someone who can like draw you to her, and then you just give her a platform, so of course she's gonna be successful. But right now, like since um everyone, she did have a chance to like for everyone to look at her, right? So she may have a manager, but if there's really nothing interesting, I guess it's just people are just gonna move on, right? I keep sipping this coffee here. Sorry.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying not to sip it, like swallow into the microphone.
Oh yeah, actually, it's you can actually hear it. Like when I was like, no, it's fine. No, I meant in the previous like episodes when I drink, like, oh, I hear myself. Like, what was that? So that's me. Like
they do like the mukbang or the is that how it?
Oh yeah, the ASMR stuff, and then like, yeah.
We could do an ASMR episode. You want to do that?
And you can hear like the sound of like the food, the crispiness.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So apparently people get apparently some people
locked in with that.
It relaxes them. Like my sister told me, like I don't understand like this, but she tells me that it kind of feels like
she like
for her it's like therapeutic for her, like the sounds and all that. She finds that like relaxing. So I guess that's why there's a market for it too, for like people who enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been caught up in a few. I've seen some. There's like women that whisper to you.
Oh, okay.
And
it's here,
and it's not. It's not sexual, but I guess it could kind of be construed that way. But it's soothing. It's like, they're like, oh, let me get this hair off of your forehead, and then picking the hair off.
You hear it. Yeah. The earliest, I think Dale should know this. Like it is the earliest when it wasn't even in the internet wasn't that big yet. I think it was in high school. When someone like give you headphones at I think they call it the virtual barber shop, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you hear it? I think they should know because it was big in here. It's a virtual barber shop. It's my first encounter. I didn't even know that it's called like ASMR, and then so it just there's an audio. It's not a video. It's an audio file, and then it's called like virtual barber, and then you should hear it with headphones, and then it's gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be in for a haircut, and then you're gonna hear like the barbers like going in the door. So it's the voice, walking to you, and then like talking to you, and then the interesting part is like the electric razor where you hear like there, and then you're gonna hear it like it really feels like it's something like at the back of your head, and then one of my friends even like tried to like put out the headphones, like looking at the side, like, hey, what's happening? Is he here? And then like you hear it, and then you put the headphones back, and then like you have the experience, and then there's actually an explanation there. Like there was it. I don't know if you remember, Dave. There's an actual term in there because the last part of the audio file is because there's a part where the barber's like walking side to side, and then he quickly like whispers to one of your ear.
I think they actually use that to test like good headphones. Some good headphones would actually give you
there's
the space,
the depth,
and depth too, where sounds coming from, so they're coming from the left, how far they are. Some headphones like all that like it's closer, all of that feels close. Some of them are more, I guess, accurate spatially, where like far would actually you hear it like farther, and then you could hear them like come closer as to like what you mentioned, where you could actually hear like the sound of the like clippers very close to you, or the scissors very close to your ear. So that's how it, and I guess it's like how the stereo headphones work. So with like the two OS pieces,
it should work together.
Yep. They're able to do that. Before, like you have like the mono, it's just one sound all throughout. You're not able to.
It's probably like so sophisticated how they do that. Yeah, and it's amazing when you have when you get to hear those headphones like really good, because it's always not really always, they put in there like the spatial quality is good, and then when you hear it, but it also depends on the sample audio, right? But there's actually depth in it, and that's how that's how it gets expensive, right? Because you hear the depth, and then because before it's only not really only before it's you hear the bass, how's the treble, how's the mid sound is, and then I think right now it's actually
and you can distinguish like
part of it where
like the different the different instruments if it's recorded.
Yeah, that too. Like how
So
clear you can like
how
hear
far
those.
they're in the center,
Mhm.
and then the vocals maybe some of them like here. Yep.
I was just going to insert
Mhm.
this relative to what you're talking about. I found this. It says, in the virtual barber illusion, the brain's interpretation of auditory stimuli allows for one to have the sense that they're located in a barber shop. The user can distinguish if the barber is behind them or in front of them, whispering or talking normal, and much more. So that's fascinating, man. So
It is. It is.
I'm gonna
And that's
try that out.
yeah. It's fascinating with because they only discovered that when headphones was invented, right? Because if there's no headphones, you wouldn't know that our brain will work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, interpreted. So it's one of the things that's fascinating because if there's no headphones, you wouldn't know that our brain will do that. Like if someone like if it doesn't need an actual person to be like walking close to you. You just need like a sound of that person going close to you. It will actually like trick your brain to put like a person in there. Like your brain's gonna think, oh, someone's in there. Someone's like talking to your left ear. Oh no, it's just the sound of someone talking. But your brain thinks it's really there.
It's kind of like if you cover one eye.
Yeah, you can't.
You just see out of one eye, but if you cover both eyes, you don't see anything. So your brain will automatically make assumptions, and
it actually it combines. I did look I looked this up because my eyes are like problematic, but it's actually the brain is so quick at because you have two eyes, right, and then one eye will not see the entire picture that the other eye sees. So when it happens so fast when you look using both eyes. I like to call it stitching. It's like stitching two images together, and it is doing it like really fast. And then when you cover one eye, it's only that's where you only realize, oh, I'm only seeing up to this point. But when I open the other eye, I'm only seeing up to this point. But when I open both eyes, you can see them together, and then it happens so
erase
quick.
your nose, like they ignore your nose.
Yeah, it's designed that the brain's like really good, and then you cannot see the images without you're gonna need both eyes. Like if you watch a 3D movie and then you cover one eye, it's just gonna be flat. I don't know if you've tried that. You need both eyes when you're watching 3D movie. That's why the glasses are like the 3D glasses. There's like the old ones. There's like red and green because it's actually like different information from you're seeing from both eyes, but then you see it together. It's gonna be 3D.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I think I've heard this from Firas Hobby. Like, but if you have one eye for like long enough, because you need two eyes to see depth. That's where the 3D is. It's common and striking. Like you need the good eyes to see like how far the person is. And then if you have only one eye, it's going to be hard for you to tell like how far the actual object is. I think you can do an experiment of it, like touching an object like with one eye. But he said like for example, if you have one eye like for a very long time, like ever since like or maybe for years, your brain's actually gonna try to compensate for it. Like you're gonna have some sort of like depth perception even with one eye. But it has to like your brain has to like learn it. It's really interesting how like you say your brain can adjust, but it shouldn't be as good like as having both eyes. But yeah, I think you can see that your brain should find a way to like at least have something, at least for you to have an idea of how far something is. So I guess that's with the ears too, right? You need both. And I'm guessing if you're deaf in one ear, you wouldn't. Yeah, I forgot. I asked this to someone.
That's just how the physics.
How about the surround sound? Do you have
of it works, right, I guess. Like you need to. I guess I don't know. I'm just you're missing givens for you to calculate like the actual depth or the actual that spatial recognition that you have with like two eyes or two ears. But that's just what.
I was waiting for Dale to say that
I
1
agree.
times 1 is equals to 2.
And therefore,
Therefore,
1 equals 2,
The 2, yeah.
and the Earth is flat.
There it is back.
I didn't do the calculation.
those guys probably have.
Yeah,
just-
But there's
But it's astounding that the human body. Well, it all comes back to the brain, right? The brain's interpretation of the senses, and our brain is extremely smart, but it's also very easily fooled. And I'm not really making a point here, but it's just a fascinating thing. And the more we learn about the brain, I feel like the less we know. And the funny thing is, we're using our brains to analyze our brain. And our brain isn't smart enough to stop us at some point and be like, stop, you know enough. You expose everything.
Is your brain allowing that, or just your brain fooling you that you're analyzing it? We really don't know. I think we don't really know much about the brain yet. I forgot where I've heard this. It's from a podcast. I think there's probably a doctor. I hope it was a doctor, because I believe it. Because everyone is still looking at the brain like it's still a black box, right? That's why they were able to study it, because they're just like, they're doing this, so this comes out. So if we do this, this comes out. We put this chemical in it, this comes out. Also, it's probably doing this. So, but we don't know yet, like, why, or is it really doing that, or is it? So it's more of just like push. I don't want. It's too simple, like, to put it like just pushing buttons, but it's just like putting this chemical in. This happens. So if this person's happy, this happens. So it's probably because of blah blah blah. So they're trying to explain it that way, but we can't really. We don't really have like the exact, like, a blueprint of how the brain works. Because I think you're gonna get more philosophical now if you try to understand the brain, because there's not much evidence, right? I think Ferasabi did this well, explaining, because, like, think of a color red. So you have a color red on your mind. So if you shrink someone, so let's say if you shrink Dale, like, small enough to fit in your brain, he's not gonna see like what you're thinking. He's not gonna see like red. He's gonna see like sparks, or is it like synapses lighting up. But in your mind, you're thinking about, oh, it's color red, but I'm not gonna see red. So that's the it says, like, that's why I said it's gonna be more philosophical, because others gonna be like, so it's the consciousness, right? And then if you go to the religious side, it's the soul. So because those are the things that you can't really see in your brain. So it gets tricky and weird. So that's why people think it's we're just interfacing. Are we really here, right? Or we're just interfacing with this body. So that's why it gets like, you can go crazy about it, because there's other possibilities that might sound weird, but it actually would make sense if you like think about it. Because we don't know that much yet.
It's weird. Like, what other tool do you use to discover more about that tool? Like, we're using our brains to learn more about our brains, but you don't use a shovel to learn more about a shovel. You don't use your hands to learn more about your hands. Like the brain is the ultimate decider of truth, if you really think about it, because the brain is what, it's like this inception thing. This, like, you do a backflip in your head. You're like, wait, so then maybe we are kind of in a simulation type of thing, or I forget the word you used, but like
it is a simulation. Yeah,
but if we are
interfacing, interfacing just these bodies, and we don't know that.
What do we do with that information?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because
finding out that it's true might be the worst thing we could ever know.
Yeah,
because what would we do with that knowledge? There's not much we could do. Except it's like knowing the day you're gonna die. Like, I don't want to know that. Maybe I don't want to know if we're in a simulation.
Or if we know, we might not be like.
How would we know?
Is that?
Yeah, we wouldn't. You wouldn't. If you know, I think we're not in this world anymore. If you know.
Yeah, it's too late. Once you find out, it's too late.
Yeah. I think I don't know if you know, like, Jonathan Haidt. He's a famous, like, social. I don't know the degree. He wrote a famous book. It's like a happiness hypothesis. There's this part that I always keep remembering in that book is, I think it's on the first part, is like, because all of us in here are like, imagine like you're you're going to watch a movie, right? And then you're gonna watch this movie in a movie house. So imagine you're late to the movie. So let's say like 4 minutes in, 5 minutes in, that's the time you got in the movie theater, and then you watch the movie. And then so when you watch the movie that way, you see the actor smiles at this person, and then the other person laughs. So since you didn't see the first part of the movie, so in your head it's gonna be like, oh, it's probably because they know each other. Oh no, because they have history together. Oh no, it just smiles at everyone. So you don't know because you haven't watched the first part of the movie. And so in this situation, let's say you didn't finish the movie, you just leave like 10 minutes early in the movie. So you don't know how the movie will end. So basically it says like that's what we are, right? No one was old enough to see the first part of the movie. We're just like interpreting everything based on what we see right now. So let's say this is how the person's gonna be happy because of this thing. Why? Because that's what we see right now, but we don't really know what the origins of it. And then the funny thing about it is no one's really gonna be old enough to see the end of the movie. Like everyone's gonna like the world's still gonna be there, and then everyone's gonna fade. So yeah, so we're just like in this like middle part of the movie trying to explain what happened in the first few minutes, but no one really knows what happens in the first few minutes of the movie. And then no one's gonna be like at the end of the movie to explain everything, like, oh, this is why it happened, blah blah blah. So
we're all arguing
just
over, religion is a good way of arguing, like, oh no, I have the answers. Like, no, they have the answers. And like, we're all just,
and then both answers could make sense, right? Like even like seeing someone smirk at someone and the other person laugh. So one could say like, oh no, because that person knows that person. No, because that person like always smirks at everyone, and then this person always smiles at someone. So it could be like both make sense, but no one will really know like what, because we haven't seen the first part of the movie. Yeah, that's actually pretty good like way of summarize, because that's why it's not really a long book, but it's the one of the parts of the book like, oh yeah, it actually makes sense. Like it's good to think like, oh yeah, we're just in the middle part of the movie that we were late. Maybe we were buying popcorn, right? We didn't like, see the first part of the movie. I'm just thinking of it like that. Yeah. So that explanation could make sense, and then the other person's explanation could make sense. Just how you wanna deal. Because basically, I think that book's just like finding happiness right now, like in this part of the thing. It's like more explaining that part rather than like looking what's gonna happen another day, because so what's gonna be like in the future, or you're doing this stuff because of the past that we didn't know, or you're doing this stuff because of the future that we're not really gonna be there to see. So it's actually a very good lesson or a book to, he's a famous guy. I think he has another book coming, or like more books coming, but that was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. That movie analogy is like very helpful. Excuse me. Yeah, if you get the I recommend that book, like Happiness Hypothesis. There's a lot in there. There's about religion. There's about the body, like how humans think, how emotions versus it's actually, I'm gonna just murder it if I try to explain it. It's just the battle of like reason versus emotions. There's always like those why we have that, why people have that, and explaining that. Yeah.
Well, what maybe the easiest answer of why we're here is just to be happy and love each other and try and have fun within reason, within your responsibilities of being a human and your responsibilities to other people, to help each other, inspire each other, and love each other.
Yeah.
Could it be that simple? Probably. No one's thought of anything better. But
everyone keeps repeating the same. It's probably the same lessons like older years before, right? We would say like that's why those religious stories like resonate, because it's actually like talking about same what do you call this, interactions of people that people still relate, like until it's just different characters, we say different technologies, but it's still the same, like human nature, struggle between like good and evil, or your decisions, your conscience. It's still it still talks about the same thing, but it's just different time. And then people still like talk about, argue about the same. And I want to say, like, putting it very simple, right? But I think you get the point where it's still the same, like, struggle with
since
humans,
the
or
beginning
with
of time,
us.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same
That's why those like
principle.
stoic
Like you
quotes
think
are like,
they've been
yeah.
living in this earth for like thousands of years, let's just say.
Yeah.
But it's the same, same
Yeah.
struggle. People arguing about the same thing,
Yeah.
at this point,
Yeah.
or how much longer do we
But we're
have to get?
different. We have
Yeah.
TikTok now. Just gonna be like, yeah.
But it's
See,
all the same.
we're different.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah,
But
it's the same.
agreements, stuff we're into
Same
makes us happy. I guess it's just our humanity, right?
Yeah, you can like just add more technology on us, but I think we're still gonna have follow the same patterns.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're still humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're flesh and bone, and just like they were, but the challenges are always going to be different. I mean, it's hard to. I don't know if it's harder to analyze the past, or is it harder to predict the future? A lot of people are very sure about the future, and that to me is insane, because I feel like the future is way more interesting to me than what may have happened in the past. Even though I love history and I love learning about the past and everything, but on my own past, my own life, I find that if I dwell too much on the things that I've done, good or bad, it doesn't do me any good. And I don't like the feeling that I have when I've wasted time worrying about something I did, or the effect that it had, or like the butterfly, like, what if I had done this? What if I hadn't have done that? So I guess what I'm saying is, obviously the present moment is most important, but that present moment and immediate future, I'm trying to remind myself to allow myself to forget the past in a safe way. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe
it does.
Talking
It does, yeah. And the funny thing about it is you can tell that your younger self, but your younger self wouldn't really like um believe it unless you actually experience like, oh, if I dwelled on this too much, it's not gonna be good. So even if someone like tells me like, let's say I'm 12, 13, like, don't dwell too much of the past, I'm gonna be like, what are you talking about? And then you just, it seems like that's why it keeps on happening to all people, because you have to, and it almost looks like you have to experience it, right? Just so you can understand it. It's not enough that someone's like teaching you like, hey, don't do this. And then it's just gonna make sense when you actually like, it actually happens to you. And then like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was dwelling on this stuff. And then that's why I'm this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Youth is wasted on the young, it really is. And what good is the wisdom of an old person when nobody listens to it? It's like an Instagram inspirational quote you read in the morning before you go to work. Like, oh, that's really inspirational. And 5 seconds, that quote has left my brain.
Yeah.
And it does nothing for the rest of my day. It's so the same with like, appreciate the days now. Your kids are gonna get older. Like, yeah, I know, but it's hard right now. What do you want me to do? Like, it's almost impossible. So I think the best way to inspire somebody or to impart wisdom is to just, rather than lecture them, drop a hint, like a trailer for a movie. Just be like, you know what? When it's time, you'll understand, or perspective will help. I promise you, you'll regret saying that. And, drop that seed and allow them, even though they have to learn it on them by themselves and through their own experiences, that may allow them to speed up the process a little bit more and not take 40 years to learn the lesson. Maybe they can learn that lesson a little quicker, because you didn't annoy them into the fact you kind of just barely pushed right in the right direction. Maybe the right comment at the right time.
Yeah. Right people too, like the right people saying it. So I also remember this. It was from high school. I don't even know if it's true, right? Because I remember our teacher was telling us about iron iron, right? Iron. And I think it was a chemistry class.
E.
Fe iron. And then she was saying like, oh, this is iron, and you take vitamins that are iron, right? It says iron in there. And then you see like an iron that's, for buildings, that's also iron. So why can't you like eat that? Because it's the same thing, right? It's still iron. And then, so this one I haven't really looked it up, but the way she explained it is because our body's metabolism doesn't recognize that as iron, or it's gonna be toxic to our metabolism. So it's gonna, like, even though that is iron, it's our body's not gonna process it as iron. So that's why you get poison if you eat like steel or something.
And it's not
So
purely iron.
then to go back to the idea,
Is that what it is?
yeah, there's a lot of in there. Yeah. So the thing that would relate it to, so you could be like, two people could be giving you the same advice, but it also depends on the person who's giving it. Because let's say this person is the one you really respect this person, and then the other one you don't really like, see highly of that. But they're giving you the same advice. Like, most likely you're gonna follow that advice because this person said it. It's not because of this person. So it could be like the same information, but it also like the like how that information came to you is also like a critical part of it. Because it could be like, it could just be, it could be written on your house, right? This advice, but unless like it resonates differently if this like actual person says it to you, or you hear that from maybe your mom or this special friend. So it just hits different if you heard it that from that source rather than like, from a post. But yeah, but that's how I see it. Like, so it also depends like how you consume it, or when, or probably when. Like that, the when is also like a big thing. Like I said, if you're younger, it doesn't really, that thing wouldn't really impact you. But if you hear it like way older, like, oh, it's gonna make sense because you're at this age now.
I was curious how you're gonna make that connection when you started talking about digestion.
The iron.
I was like, what? And then
that's
very well said. I like the way you put that, because not everyone's able to absorb. Like I told Isabel the other day, I was like, Izzy, I think you just got to be nice to people in life. That's why we're here. And or some life lesson like that. She's way too young.
She's not gonna make. What?
I want ice cream, Dad. I want chocolate ice cream.
What are you talking about?
Stop changing the subject.
Guys. In life, it's gonna be, they're just right and wrong. Like, I just want vanilla. I was pointing at the. Okay.
Sometimes you have to wait. And,
yeah.
Like it. I mean,
it would be crazy. Like, oh, Dad, because Marcus Aurelius is like, what are you talking about?
People in stoicism.
Oh,
God. But there will be a day where I mean, your kids, one day when you have kids, whatever, our next generation will be smarter than us, and I will defer to her on any topic. Like I'll be. So, I guess that's part of the movie that no one really knows how it ends. They just carry the torch from then. Oh, Olympic reference.
Yeah.
They carry the torch, and they go on just trying to guess the answers to life. And they smoke with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg has something to do with it. I don't think Snoop Dogg ever dies. I think he's been around forever.
He looks the same. Like that's.
No, he looks like he's 25 years old.
Yeah. I think it's because of the glasses, and then he's still skinny. He's not really. He doesn't really get it.
Is marijuana healthy for you? I don't think is it. Maybe smoking is healthy. I
don't know. I don't think there's enough research on it. But I heard it's good. That's why it's legal, right? Oh, no, not good. It's not as
bad as people.
Deadly. Yeah, as people think. I think that in terms of if it's good for you, I'm not sure, because I think you can be healthy even without it. You can still be healthy.
Maybe that's his secret. Is
maybe that
a massive amount of. I can't imagine.
Yeah, imagine how they experimented, right? Because you have to like smoke the same amount as he does, and then imagine you're gonna be like the test subject for that. Like, okay, Mr. Dale, we're trying to have a longevity experiment here, so you have to smoke. Yeah, you have to be smoking like maybe 3 hours a day, just 3 hours a day, and then gonna be like,
There's no way you keep your job.
longevity experiment.
Yeah, there's outliers. There's people that are 90 years old that smoke cigarettes their whole lives. Winston Churchill, that was a person. Winston Churchill lived to be 90 years old. He was drunk every day of his life, chain smoked cigars. Some people just win the genetic lottery. And, you can't use those people as an example of like, oh, he did it.
Yeah.
Must be healthy.
Is he the one who did a
big
boxing match, right? Yeah. A big enough sample. And then you go to the ethics of it, right? Like you can't really like round up a lot of people and do an experiment.
Even then, even then, it's only a correlation. So you need to prove that,
Yeah,
you need to.
There's still a chance, like.
Yeah, there's other reasons, like
there's
that correlation, right? There's other factors that you have to consider and experiment.
What's that phrase for it?
Correlation
doesn't mean causation, right? Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Correlation doesn't mean causation.
Yeah, correlation is not causation.
Yeah. So maybe it's just a thing that happens to happen at the same time, because it's not really this one causing it. Because I keep hearing that. I think this COVID times, keep hearing that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of studies, but it doesn't mean that's what it means. That's what.
Yeah, that's it.
You need to experiment.
It means right.
I guess all the other factors that might have contributed to that, I guess, end result. And it's not just that one correlation that's there.
True.
You need to start eliminating like all the other stuff first. There might be other, reasons why.
Yeah.
Maybe like somebody who smoked might be living longer in the research, but there might be other things that are contributing to that, not just the smoking itself. All this.
Like they have a healthy diet,
and then that's what I guess people who have like bias, if you like, they latch into that one study.
Yeah, that too. The human part of it too. Yeah, the human part.
Consider
confirmation bias. But why? Why do an experiment like that when you could just make up the results and post it online and then just tell the story that you want to tell? Nowadays, you don't even need to have a survey.
But I mean,
just put it out there. 85%
I've heard there's
people,
I've heard there's papers on that's actually false, and then they publish it as a paper, and then when people read it, like it looks like there's an abstract,
and then the
methodology, and then
now is what I'm thinking
people gonna believe it.
The rise of social media. Let's just say in the space of like health and wellness, with all these like fitness people in there, throwing out all the diets, all the studies. Right now, everybody that's into it become part of the full study now, where they're into that. Let's just say one specific diet. We don't know yet. It was just they were just given something in the internet, like this study, this and that. And then now a lot of people join in that, partake in that specific diet. So now they're part of that actual study that happens, but we don't know yet because we're in the experiment itself. And that's just a thought.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm having,
Yeah.
We don't know yet. Like they look like healthy now, but in the long run, will they? How many of these fitness people would actually remain healthy? Or will they just become part of the statistic that we don't know? We don't know yet at the time, right? So that's my thoughts on that. It's a fad that might be.
That's like the carnivore diet. Right? I keep thinking of that.
They have all the studies, but with all these people now partaking in the carnivore diet, in the long run, are they really going to be healthy and long lives?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. They might end up all being like just up to 80, like 70. Have a heart attack or something like that, but we don't know yet at this point.
Yeah.
Not enough time. I mean, there's no one that's done the study. That was with laser eye surgery for when it came out in the 80s. LASIK. When it came out in the 80s or 90s, that was like, okay, we're just going to laser beam your eyes. It'll work. Yeah. And it's like, well, what happens in 20, 30 years? And they're like, well, we don't really know that yet. We're going to figure that out.
I guess we'll
for the ride.
I guess we'll see, right? Imagine your doctor saying that. I don't know. I guess we'll see. What? I'm serious.
And it's just you like,
right?
Right? All right. Let me see your eyes. I'm gonna laser beam right now.
Yeah, but a lot of people it goes back, right? Those surgery, and I think people realize it later, it does make your eyes clear, but it goes back after a few years. And I'm not sure if you can do it again. I didn't really look that much. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you can do it again.
My mom did it. Her eyes went bad again, and she
Yeah,
has to wear glasses.
Yeah, and then you're gonna go back like wearing glasses. Right? But some people like, I guess with the same thing with what we were talking about earlier. Like some people, it's still good for them, like for years, like way longer than other people. Other people see it, like, I think just 5 years. Some even like just done some are 10 years, where they started like, oh, they're gonna wear glasses again. Yeah. So yeah, we don't know.
She was
It's
for like
it's
20
speeding like
years, 20, 30
it's
years.
it's trying to like take a layer out of your eye, which is scary to think about it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's
different topic. I can't talk about that. I'll throw up on this computer. Oh,
Like,
that's
ugh.
just the
Yeah.
thought is insane to me. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't like surgery. Unless I have to, like, to save my life.
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm always fascinated with people like, studying
Doctors.
college and then doing the residency to be that person who like opens people up. That's I don't know. Maybe there's an
Even
explanation.
the side,
Okay,
even
we're
the
just
side of
gonna
blood
speak
for
for
me,
it.
I could never. Just the side of,
No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Oh
Yeah.
no, God, man! If Isabel cuts her knee, I'm like, oh.
Go to your mom. Go to your mom.
But no, I mean, the adrenaline takes over. You're like, all right,
Yeah.
let's fix it. But inside, I'm like, man, if I see a bug, I freak out. That's this whole separate issue. Gaza has to kill the bugs in the house.
No, the bugs are designed for humans to be, scared of them. It's so, yeah, I think that's how they.
I don't know. If I see a cockroach, though, it's shocking. Like, oh,
Yeah, everyone. It would be like you have to be around cockroaches,
and then
like maybe your entire life, just so for you not to be afraid of it. But there's always that instinct, like, oh, it's
you right to be afraid of it.
Go near it.
It's like it's just natural.
Yeah, it just looks scary right away.
Yeah.
Like you learn it. Yeah. And then people are gonna explain it like, oh, because thousands of years before, people are like die because of cockroaches. I don't know.
well, that's part
I
of.
try to make up. I try to make up something.
Middle of the movie.
They're like animals.
Yeah,
They don't look
don't know.
scary, but you're supposed to be scared of them. Yeah.
Are deadly. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Jellyfish, right?
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Bears.
So,
Well,
I think they're.
if not friend, why friend?
No, but
It's that thing it's a thing they say, right? Why if they're scary, why do they look like very friendly, so huggable?
yeah, the bears, right? Why you want to hug them, but they're gonna start eating you alive. That's how bears look. Yeah, yeah. This is it's because of that the teddy bear, because of that, so that it's ingrained in people's minds that they're friendly, they're huggable, they look cute. But turns out they're like, especially if you're around their cubs, they're gonna kill you.
10 feet tall, 14 feet tall. Are you kidding me, man?
Yeah, you
And
can't do
bears.
anything. Yeah, you can't really do anything.
That's scary, man.
They do that I think they only do it in bears, right? What other animals they make snakes have been. There's a part of you that doesn't like snakes already. I think it's because of the
Spiders.
cold
Hippos
blooded.
are one of the most
thing.
deadly animals.
Hippos too, yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
find sharks.
Yes.
They
more
look
deadly
cute,
than
yeah.
hippos, even though hippos are actually more deadly than sharks.
Yeah, it's there. You see those videos like hippos like chasing those tour carts. People are saying like, oh, look, you look cute, but yeah, they're scary. It's because of those that Madagascar. So all of them look friendly. I like to move it. The part that all of them dancing. So you think that's what they do in the wild, but no, they can actually kill you.
Yeah, they'll crush your head like a watermelon.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta grab the baby.
It's moving.
Yeah.
One arm. Bisaya, ko ba sa kwan? Yeah. What a story about the misgendered. Misgendered. Sunod at bring up na to palit ang kwan. Ang incident. Interesting kayo to. Nabasa to ni more. Yung post. Grabe na itong trending
Ano
topic.
din nasa Pilipinas day karon. Siya may mag-first.
Oh, most of them occurs na.
Yeah,
Ryan
talk about that too.
Your thing.
Ryan as a guest, and then they talk about that.
Everybody. Mom, sir.
Yeah, mom, sir. Mom, sir. Mom, sir.
Yeah, I said that too. Like, ma'am, sir, you covered all
Sure.
bases. Everyone's
Yep.
covered.
Not sure.
Mom,
The
sir.
less I'm not
Try
offending.
this.
It's a way of saying I'm not offending someone. It's just how. Yeah.
Yeah. Glyza wanted to talk about that, I know. And
Yeah, it was.
Glyza's still putting the baby. Either Glyza's still putting the baby to sleep or she fell asleep.
She fell
too.
asleep, like
But
putting
like-
easy asleep. Yeah.
should we try and get Ryan on?
Next one. We'll see.
We can see what Ryan's schedule is. And
Yeah, I'll ask him because he messaged me about wanting to meet up for dinner. But it's just something like, hey, what's your shift? Blah blah. I said, mid shift, blah blah, and then nothing. So I'm not sure how busy he is. He posted a picture that's about a wedding, so maybe the wedding's already done. So we'll see. Most likely it's when he gets back there, because if it's still here in Cebu or in the Philippines, he's probably busy because it's a vacation.
yeah, you're going all over.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed. Yeah. When you're in the Philippines like that, just for
Yeah, I don't have enough time. Yeah, not enough time.
your time gets taken up so quickly. So,
Mhm.
well, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
cool.
About the hour.
The baby's kind of off and on.
Yeah, too.
That was a good episode. We didn't have an agenda. We just kind of
Yeah, because start with.
this was like
Good thing about talking about the virtual barber,
Experience.
virtual barber.
and then like
Yeah.
explaining life right away.
Life.
No, I'm kidding.
It got deep. It's like philosophical, man.
Yeah,
It's
a deep
lesson
one.
to learn.
Yeah,
I guess
very
it's
true.
living in the moment again, right? They learn a bit.
Yeah,
learn a
that's
bit
the
from
most
past,
important
get
part. Yeah,
what you can. Don't dive into like popular fads, or you'll be part of the whatever
Mm.
the current experiment is. But I guess be hopeful for the future,
Yes.
and then again live in the moment.
Yeah.
Thing. We don't know we're in a simulation or not. We're experiencing it right now, right?
Yeah.
What better way to? Well, I guess just experience what you're experiencing.
That's it.
And
Wayne Gretzky.
too.
Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, that's the last part. And
Something
Wayne
about
Gretzky.
mixed in there somewhere. Well said, Dale. Well said.
And
Very deep.
Olympics. Yep, and the Olympics. That's the.
And we're not watching it, but
Alright.
the Olympics are on. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I think that's a good. We're just gonna close it with that.
Yeah, you can
Dale's
cut off
statement.
with Dale's.
You can
Yeah,
cut me off.
with
Dale's,
Dale's.
yeah.
Don't include that.
I'm gonna cut it until like the Wayne Gretzky, and then that's.